Hello, welcome to class. Today we're going to talk about therapy and self-sabotage. Wonderful topics. So I started feeling anxiety, I'd say in college. Before that, in high school, it was low grade normal teenager anxiety, I guess, but my adult anxiety started in college, and at the beginning I was very much in denial. I didn't think anxiety was a real thing. It was actually my ex that kept telling me that I was anxious. I would get so mad at him because I'm like, I'm not anxious. I would really get actually mad because I was in denial, and I thought that anxiety was the same thing as stress. And I was like, I know what stress feels like because I'm stressed before a soccer game, or I'm stressed before an exam. But I had this low grade anxiety that was ruling my life. It never made me very present. It would always rob me from the present moment, from enjoying pleasure, because I was always thinking about things I had to do. I didn't realize that. And it wasn't until I started going to therapy in 2016, but I actually started seeing her because I had anger issues. And then we realized a lot of times anger stems from other emotions, and anxiety was one of them. So I guess I got kind of faced with the fact that I was dealing with anxiety. It's easier to listen when it's a professional that tells you than your ex-boyfriend. You're always criticizing me. He was right, and she was also on point with validating how I felt, and also making me realize it's very normal to feel anxiety. Anxiety has been useful for human beings throughout history. That's what made us be here today as a species. If we weren't anxious, we wouldn't have the need to go get food or go hunt or be in the situations to take risks, to be alert, to be careful about predators and stuff. So anxiety has been very helpful throughout history, but now how can you manage anxiety so it's healthy anxiety and not sabotaging you? Anyways, that was a long intro. But what I was gonna say is that although I know I've been anxious and I've been gathering tools along the way, doing therapy amongst the years, I don't always cope with it perfectly. There's always new challenges that come up that make me deal with it in different ways. Lately, I've been feeling anxious, and it's been a little bit new because it's been a while since I felt anxious like that. Because it's been a while, I feel I didn't want to acknowledge it. I wanted to think that I was past that almost. When I'm not being proactive about it and disregard it and try to pretend it's not there, it obviously gets worse. So anxiety was starting to really build up, and it was kind of creating chaos in my life. So when I start ignoring my anxiety, I engage in very much self-sabotaging behaviors. I'll start having negative self-talk, negative criticism. I will shame myself a lot. I will feel shame towards myself. I will feel overwhelmed, restless. I will not take care of myself. I will constantly have a chatter in my head where I don't even really know what I'm thinking about, but it just feels like something's rolling in there. I will feel overwhelmed, overthink. I will have self-doubt, low confidence. Basically, I just suffer. I'm just in a constant state of suffering. It also robs me from the pleasure of the present moment because I'm always internally struggling in my mind. It makes me almost like a zombie and not fully able to enjoy what is actually happening. When it's a good times with my friends or with people that I like, or family, or whatever it is, teammates, I will never be able to fully appreciate being with that because it makes me suffer. It would rather make me suffer. So when I say the word it, I mean my ego. Because I know that my ego is the one that wants to attach to pain. It wants me to suffer. By attaching to it and making it worse for itself, it grows the ego even bigger. Because the ego just wants more of something. And if that's pain, it's fine. It just wants more of it because it's never enough. Ego loves to attach to pain because it gives itself a sense of identity. And I usually feel anxious when I feel lost a little bit, a lost in life, lost touch of who I want to be. Ego kicks in and it's well, I know what you can be. You can be pain. You can be suffering. Just be that person and feel sorry for yourself. Feel like a victim. So that's my ego speaking. It's really important to recognize that when you are saying those things to yourself, when you are just kind of sabotaging yourself further. It's really just your ego that wants to attach to that, because it's easier almost to sabotage than to do the hard work to overcome it. Thankfully, like from journaling in the past, from doing the work, I know myself. By being aware that my ego does that, I know that the reason why I feel so anxious, it's because usually I'm not on track of my goals or who I want to be. And there are things in my life that are happening right now, and it kind of throws me off towards like my normal schedule of like my dream chasing disciplined self, because I have other things to worry about. And when I start like getting involved in that, I kind of lose touch of who I am, and then I start not doing the things that I want to be doing, and then I start being anxious, and then it's a, you know, self-sabotaging cycle. The thing that also puts me off track towards my goals in my specific job as a professional athlete is that I have to leave often and go on the road for games and stuff. When I'm gone, it really throws me off my schedule. And I noticed that when I was on the road with all the other things that are happening in my life, I would kind of use an escape from that pain by going on my phone more, going on social media, not working on my projects, not doing my morning routine, just like not taking care of myself as much or doing the things that I know I should be doing. When I travel a lot, it's really hard to emulate the same routine that I have at home. And as you know, I like to have a huge structure in my day. Like I like to have everything from A to Z pretty much planned. But when I'm on the road, there's so much gray area that it's really hard for me to follow, and it kind of puts me off track, and I don't know how to deal with that yet. Like it's still so hard for me. This is where therapy comes in, because you know that I am all about taking responsibility. It is extremely important to be responsible for your life, but not because you're being responsible and accountable means that you have to do everything alone. I think that's what is so good with therapy, is that they're there to help you, to assist you in your journey. So I went to my therapist and I brought this up to her. I will reveal she is a woman. The thing that I want to mention about therapy is that I started doing it in 2016, and I've had multiple therapists. I haven't vibed with everyone that I've got. Like it was a trial and error. So if you are thinking to do therapy, just know that you need to like shop around a little bit, and it's okay if things don't match. So the one that I have right now, I actually have had her for a little bit now, but when I actually started my therapy with her, I was in a very good place. I didn't feel the need to have someone. Everything was kind of going well. But I knew that I wanted to be ready for when things weren't going so well, that I had someone that I could trust, that I could feel comfortable being vulnerable with, and that I knew I had someone ready for me. So I'm happy that I didn't let things get really bad and then having the struggle to find a therapist to like talk to them when things weren't good, because there would have been a lot to unpack before I would have to work on my problems. Like it's nice that we actually have a relationship now, so when we have to go through things together, she knows me more than if it were the first session where I come up with like all my issues. So then I went on to talk about my personal issues that are affecting my life right now, and how it's very hard for me to be on track of my goals, and how much anxiety it was bringing me. What I really like about her is she doesn't just listen and validate how I feel. We actually do work together. We'll do work and then I'll have homework. And I love that because it's very proactive. It makes me engaged. It makes me feel like I'm moving forward with it, and it's not just me like trauma dumping on her, you know? So we did this exercise, and I want to share it with you. She basically told me that we have an identity right now, and our identity are based off the roles you have in your life. So I wrote that I'm a soccer player, I'm also a personal trainer, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a friend, and I'm also a girlfriend involved with my ex, but we're not dating, but like I'll just put girlfriend, okay? Those are my identities that kind of like dictate my behavior on a daily basis. And then she asked me to put a percentage of my life right now that I am spending doing those roles. So I did a pie chart, so if you want to look at it. Okay, this is what it looks like, where I would assign the percentage to the roles that I have. So soccer player, I would put 50%. Sister, I put 3%. Friend, 2%. Girlfriend, 15%. Looking at that, I realized I am putting certain percentages way more in areas that I don't want to, and way less in other areas. And that just goes to show that if I put more time and energy and behaviors into certain areas of my life that I don't want to, it's not gonna make me feel good about myself because I am not where I want to be. So my next exercise was to list down where do I want to be, like what roles do I want to have. I actually changed some, reanalyze the percentages I want to put into those roles. So soccer player went from 50 to 40 because I felt like I was a little bit too involved into my soccer career and it was giving me anxiety because I felt like I didn't have as much time to focus on my other things. I took away trainer because in the future I don't want to be a trainer, but then I added mentor because I do want to be a mentor. I took away girlfriend because that's not what I want to be in the future. I don't want to be a girlfriend right now, and I'm talking near future. But I did write being feminine. Like, I want to be feminine. That kind of has to do with the girlfriend side, like relationship side, but it's more about like my energy. I want to spend time tapping into my feminine energy, my feminine aura. So that's something I want to prioritize and do better. My pie chart looks a little bit different if you look. And then our session actually got cut short. We didn't have time to finish that through. Just talking, we were going to see what behaviors would I have to change right now to match the new pie chart. Like, how can I do that? How can I set boundaries? How can I schedule my day? How can I notice triggers? How to step out of situations I don't want to be in? Stuff like that. So I assume that's what we're gonna keep building on next session. If I actually had to guess, I think that the message is you cannot wait to feel better or to have good thoughts to do the good actions. I need to do the behaviors that match who I wanna be for me to feel good and have better thoughts about myself. It cannot be the other way around. Basically, I cannot let my thoughts and my feelings dictate what I do. I need to take ownership and do what I need to do that matches who I want to be in the right proportions, regardless of how I feel, because that will inevitably change how I feel and how I think. Because right now, the thoughts that I have are like shaming me, are so negative, and the feelings are overwhelming and inadequate, and those currently match the pie chart that I have. Like, I'm dedicating percentages of my time towards roles that I actually don't even want to be putting that much time in, and I'm just pulled in so many different directions. And then once I start feeling shitty about myself, then I start engaging in those self-sabotaging behaviors, like, you know, overeating, oversleeping, not working on my projects, not caring about my future, because I feel like so shitty about myself, and my ego just wants to feel even more shitty because that's like its new identity, because I feel so lost. Does that make sense? Something I would do in the past was, if I had a bad morning, that meant I would have a bad day. So let's say I woke up in the morning later than usual, didn't have time to do my morning routine, or went in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. My makeup wasn't going properly, my hair wasn't going properly, maybe I don't feel good in my clothes, maybe I get a phone call that's like depressing, or maybe I find out bad news about a family member or something. If I have a bad morning, I will use that as a crutch or an excuse to have a bad day. Oh, well, I had a bad morning, I wasn't working towards my goals, I wasn't working towards where I want to be, so this day is ruined. So I will just like have self-sabotaging behaviors for the rest of the day. Let's say I would have a diet right now and I had a bad morning, like I didn't have time to eat breakfast. So I go to the stadium and before training, and then there's a bunch of donuts there. And I'll be like, oh, let me eat a donut. Like, I will convince myself like I should eat a donut because I didn't have food, and it's hard to resist a donut. So I'll eat the donut, and then I'll feel so bad about myself for eating a donut that for the rest of the day, I'll end up like indulging in other bad foods. And it's not necessarily sometimes bad food but I'll just overeat in general because I'm like, I had a bad morning, had a donut, I'm just gonna end up like ruining my day. That's terrible. But what's funny is that if I had a great day, and then it was night, and then I would eat a donut at night, I would not feel nearly as guilty because I'm like, well, I had a great day and like I deserve this. Like, this was amazing. This is like a récompense, reward. That's a reward. So I would actually not even feel bad about the fact that I ate a donut. But why, when I eat a donut in the morning, do I have to turn my whole day around to make it bad? It's the same thing. If I had a donut in the morning and a great day, it's the same thing as having a great day and having a donut at night. That kind of goes into this message or mantra that I like to live by. Turn bad moments into good data. You don't have to make a bad moment a bad day. So you basically tell yourself, if you have had the donut in the morning, it's fine. You just weren't prepared. Next time, you just gotta make sure you meal prep the night before, that you plan better, that you grocery shop on that certain day, you know, whatever. You just prepare yourself and learn from your mistake. It's not a big deal. And then you just go on with your day. We don't have to let our ego win and make you feel bad or guilty if we're not following a certain plan. Like, shit happens. So just learning to move on from that quick is gonna be so much more peaceful. So yeah, I hope this was valuable. I really hope you loved the video. I feel like I'm getting better at doing my videos. Things are flowing better. I like that. So yeah, I'm feeling like I'm on track of my goals right now. We're getting after it. Let's go. And I will see you tomorrow in another video. So stay tuned, okay? I love you. I love you. Come here.